as it says there, test for all hip extensor muscles. So what are all of our primary hip extensor muscles? Okay, glute max.
All the hamstrings.
And all the hamstrings. Those are our main ones. Okay. So when it says test all hip extensor muscles, we're talking the glute max and the hamstrings. Okay. But then we can actually perform a test to isolate just the glute max or just the hamstrings. Today we will go over the test to isolate glute max. On Monday, we will go over the test to isolate just the hamstrings. Is the knee. So that's how we do that. Okay. So I need a volunteer for hip extension / hyperextension. So knowing that it's glute max, hamstrings, and the motion is hip extension, hyperextension, what position do you think the patient needs to be in for grade 3 through 5?
Prone.
Prone. Okay.
Against gravity.
Against gravity. We want fully against. Now standing, yes, they are getting a little against gravity, but it's going to be a little tough for us to apply resistance and stabilize them at the same time. Okay. So we'll get them into prone. We're going to test her left leg. No. We're going to test her right leg. Okay. Now, the glute max, good sized muscle. Good strong muscle. Okay? Hamstrings, that's a big muscle group. Okay? So another big, strong muscle, if you will. We're going against both of those in this first test. So, what do we want to make sure that we have?
Advantage.
Advantage. So where do you think I want to resist her at? The distal end. Okay? I'm going to be just proximal to her ankle. Right there. Okay? I'm going to have her actively go through it, see if I can at least give her a 3. Right? So just keep your knee straight and lift your foot up as high as you can. Awesome! I can give her at least a 3. I didn't know if I can give her a 4 or 5. Right? I'm going to apply my resistance here. And before I actually go into or say anything, we'll just do this. So now I apply my resistance. Keep your knee straight, lift it up there until you hit my hand. There we go. Now hold it there, don't let me push you down. Okay, relax. Probably give her a 4 on that. We went down quite a bit. Okay. She did pretty good at going against what I thought might happen. Okay? Sometimes if you are, like if I was applying resistance here, just understanding how things work and what might happen to the patient.
Roll.
She might roll. Okay, so as I'm applying resistance here, I might see her roll over. Okay, and we don't want that to happen. So we can do a couple of things. One, we can have the patient hold on to the table just as long as they're not bearing down and trying to like that and resist, okay? Or I can stabilize the opposite hip or pelvis. Okay, so now lift up again, hold it there, don't let me push down, and as I push down, I can counteract my force. Okay, still get another 4. So, that's it. If it changed, I thought I might give you a different one. No, I'm going to have you stay there. Okay, so that's for all the hip extensors. Now we want to isolate the glutes, or glute max, I should say. How do we go about doing what?
Sorry, just real quick. It
Sure.
mentions for grade 3,
Uh-huh.
not to give resistance for this test.
Oh, well, they're not going to be able to resist at all, right? So grade 3, they're lifting up, and as soon as I push, then they either drop down, or maybe they get up here and they start to lower down, so it doesn't necessitate giving any resistance.
Okay. So 3 is if they can still get to their full range of motion, but do they have to be able to like hold that position for 5 seconds
No.
on their own?
No. Because if I'm doing the test, I may hold her up here and just say, Kate, hold that position, and I'm going to apply resistance, don't let me move you. And then as soon as I let go, maybe she slowly drops, or she holds it there for a second and then it drops, or she's holding it there, and as soon as I apply resistance, it just falls down. It doesn't melt like a 4, but it just automatically falls down. So it cannot handle any more resistance than what gravity is giving it. Okay. Good clarification. So, I want to isolate the glute max. How do I do that?
Why don't you put like
I was just gonna say.
No? I don't know.
Just
Someone
point
say
at it.
something.
I would say that if you push at the distal end of the femur.
So I'm pushing here?
Yeah, but not on the back of the knee though, because that's a center
Yeah,
spot.
because that's a sensitive spot, right? But I'm
Yeah.
pushing here. What muscles could still come into play?
Hamstrings.
The hamstrings.
So if you have her
Flex
flex
the
her knee,
Flex the knee, right? When we flex the knee, what happens to the hamstrings?
Shortens.
They are shortened. Therefore, putting the hamstrings at a mechanical disadvantage for the motion of hip extension, also known as
Passive insufficient. Dang it.
active insufficiency. Because she's going to be resisting, right? So, I got her in this position. Now I just want her to lift her foot up as far as she can go. There we go, hold it there, don't let me move you. And 5. She did pretty good. Give me back it out, say you're 5. Yay, okay. Again, I was stabilizing. Technically stabilizing over here, but I should have been stabilizing over here. But stabilizing that end so that she doesn't roll or anything like that. Any questions on hip extension so far? Grade 2, let's say she can't go through those motions. What position do you think I want to get her in?
Sideline.
Sideline, okay. On her right or her left? We're testing her right.
On her left.
On her left, okay? Remember that. Because if we get her on that right side, then she's going against this. Okay, so we're gonna have her on the opposite side. She's gonna be lying on the opposite side of the side that we're testing. Again, I'm just holding her, supporting her as she goes through the motion. So go ahead and go into hip hyperextension for me. Kick that leg back. Good. I'm not resisting her. I'm not helping her through it. Just letting her go. Isolate the glute, bend the knee, do the same thing. Okay? Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Any questions?
do we need to be familiar with like the other hip extension test dimensions, like modified for flexion
No.
tightness, or
No.
like the supine extensions?
In the book, it talks about like hip contractures. If they present with one of those, then there's a modified position you can put them in, but we're not gonna worry about those.